Welcome to Up to the Minute. It is Wednesday, June the 10th, 2020. I'm Todd Duplantis. Thanks for joining us here for the next half hour or so. We've got your HCC news and information. Of course, Brittany Pacheco, my co-host, is joining me now from a different location. Brittany, what's going on? Where are you today?
Yeah, Todd, you're not the only one who's at a different location for Up to the Minute today, but I'm here at my mom's house to visit, but also because my apartment decided they needed to make a water main repair. So,
did you tell them we have a show? Did that come into play? Did you call someone?
I told them we have this all-important show that we do every morning at 10 a.m., and it's just, you're ruining my schedule. But anyway, we're here. We're here to bring you the latest from HCC along with some wonderful guests. But before we get into that, be sure to go and like our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. If you can hear my dog in the background, she's yelling at you to do so. But also to head over to YouTube and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can find out the latest from HCC.
That's right, Brittany. Make sure you let everyone know about our show. We do appreciate you watching this morning. It's Wednesday, and that means HCC Police Chief Greg Cunningham is with us. Chief, welcome to the show again.
Good morning, everybody. It's good to see you. Everybody having a great day?
We are. So far, things are going well. We're going to have more with you in a moment, Chief. We appreciate you being here. And we've got a very special guest right now, Brenda Rios Brombacher, the Director of Entrepreneurial Initiatives at HCC Southeast. Welcome to the show, Brenda.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you guys, now virtually, of course.
Absolutely. We're all working in a virtual world. How are things going working virtually? Are you finding it's running smoothly right now?
I think it's now the new norm. At the beginning, it was sort of like a learning curve that, the technologies, the lighting, everything that we need to do, how do we engage our audience and community. So it's now becoming the normal, and we're getting ready. We're just, happy to be here safe and sound and still connected with the community.
Now, that's the key, because you guys are still connected with the community, and really at HCC, we've really transferred everything online, and we're still delivering the services to our students and the community. And you have some interesting virtual business topics to discuss, including something called cloud kitchens. Tell me about that.
Well, we are sort of the resource or the hub of resources in the community, and especially when it comes to innovation. So we're working with this amazing startup, Common Cookery. The founder is Moses Iku, and they're bringing in the concept of cloud kitchens. That's something that sounds like very virtual, but what happens is this is a platform, a digital platform for like mom and pop shops or private chefs to be digitally selling their products and their food items. We're talking about maybe a restaurant or like a family restaurant that would love to grow their capacity, but they just don't have the funds to grow another location or the people to be selling online. Plus, it's different from Uber Eats and DoorDash, because as you've heard in the news, they get like a huge margin that really kills the family businesses, they don't get any money. So Common Cookery is trying to change that, and so we're working with them with their marketing campaign just so that a lot of our community knows more about this platform.
I'm glad you brought that up, because since this whole shutdown happened, of course, things have changed now, and some businesses and restaurants are opening in a smaller capacity. But when this all happened, you brought up something that was very insightful, and it was a big concern for the restaurant community, because these services like DoorDash and Uber Eats, I don't think people realize how much they do charge the small businesses, especially restaurants, and their profit margin is really paper thin to begin with.
Exactly. And so we want to be helping our small restaurants. Houston is a foodie city, right? And a lot of them are family owned. So the startup, like I said, Moses is bringing that solution, especially now that everything is becoming virtual, so that they don't suffer and they get some profits to survive.
We've talked to a few folks from the Entrepreneurial Initiatives program, and we've talked about webinars you guys have been having. And tell us about some of the ones that you're offering through your department.
Yeah, so we've been going, it's just been a roller coaster of webinars. When the governor was talking about the funding or the SBA, PPP loans, for example. Like we were driving traffic, making sure that our community knew how to apply, how to get those resources. Right now, we're actually going into the digital market with Google. We partner with them so that we can bring in efforts or tools that are for free for businesses. So we're having, let me actually share some of this webinars that we're having in the coming weeks. Can you see this on your screen? Perfect. Okay, so for example, like maybe some of those restaurants or tire shops or family-owned businesses in our community are not on Google yet. And to be honest, I think that's something that I do every day. It's like, what is food we provide, right? So we're teaching this kinds of businesses how to get your profile, your website up with Google Search and Maps. And we'll have this webinar on June 25th at 11 a.m. This is right before lunch. And then
now these are all free, and you're promoting tools that are free through Google as well. So we want to clarify that, right?
Correct. And so actually in this partnership with Google, they have those resources for students. They have the resources for small businesses. So we're just kind of being highlighting or the platform to share this together. You don't have to do it alone. So again, this is just like if your business wants to be on Google Search and Maps, you take this workshop and we'll tell you, the step-by-step to do so. The next one is on July 2nd, and as you notice, this is every Thursday at 11 to noon. And so this one will be connect with customers and manage your business remotely. So how do you use your advertisements? How do you business show up at the very top of the website when you do a Google search? All those kinds of things we'll give you on this webinar. And again, it's for free. We do the reach customers online with Google, a lot of like flyers and advertisements and news that you can post that could help you. This one will be July 9th. And then the last one is how to use YouTube to grow your business. So if you want to like sign up for this series, you can click on this link. It's hccs.events.edu.com and then /grow with Google.
All these links that you're giving right now, we're going to make sure we post all those in this social media post. So if it's going by too quickly for you, look below in the comments, or you can read up on it in the post for this social media post on this program. So we'll have all of these links for everyone, Brenda.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Well, and also we're also having them in Spanish. So
that was my next question, because I know you guys have a large Spanish audience, and you have had a number of your conferences that are bilingual and versions of them that are in Spanish to reach out to Spanish-speaking entrepreneurs.
Yeah, I mean, Houston, again, we're so diverse, and I think the highest population we have is a lot of Spanish-speaking businesses. So we want to give that opportunity for those tools that they can use, again, for free. So we're doing those 2 webinars in Spanish, and we're actually doing them in the afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m. The first one being the 18th of June, and the second one on June 25th.
Let me ask you this, Brenda, because it seems like in the past you've had a good turnout for the Spanish-speaking webinars and seminars as well.
Yeah, I mean, last year, for example, we held the Latinx Summit in conjunction with SBA and the Minority Business Development Agency. And we had over 250 people that showed up, again, all in Spanish. And that was a platform where they learned the financials, the legal, how do you, maybe the language barriers, right? Like how do you reach to a market when you don't have the language? So things like that. And we're actually planning that again. We're trying to do that every year. Our guest speaker last year, for example, was Lina. Yeah. And
if we could take it off the screen share, we could see you if you could release that. There we go.
There you go. Sorry. Thank you so much. And so we're going to try to do that again during the Hispanic Heritage Month in September, and we're on planning for that. And then also at We Thrive, in fact, that's how Common Cookery came about. Is they met with a couple of restaurant experts, and they started brainstorming and idealizing since the We Thrive conference at the beginning of March. So I'm just happy to see that a lot of the entrepreneurs that we engage are leveraging the network and growing that way.
And I think a lot of people just aren't aware, especially small business owners. It seemed like when the shutdown happened, many business owners were just thrown into this. You know, obviously, whether you liked it or not, if you had a small restaurant, you weren't bringing customers in. You had to start selling online and reaching out to an audience for delivery or those options. And these resources, once again, are available through Google. It's just that a lot of our audience may not know how to reach them or how to connect with them.
Right, and again, our center is here to show those resources for free and to do it together. Like, you don't have to be alone figuring it out for yourself. We can do it together.
Brenda, Rios, Brombacher, thanks for joining us this morning on Up to the Minute and updating us on everything you have going on at HCC Southeast. Good to hear from you, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brenda. We're going to move across town. We've got Chief Greg Cunningham joining us this morning. Good morning, Chief. Always great to have you with us on a Wednesday.
Yeah, good morning, Todd. I got to be honest with you. That material Brenda was just sharing, I think I'm going to have to attend a few of those. That'd be great to have somebody coach you through all of that stuff.
You know, it is, and it's true. I mean, Google has all these tools and analytics that are available, but you really need to take courses to learn how to utilize them all. Even though they're free, we just don't know how to operate them. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So this is a busy week at HCC, Todd. It is.
We got a lot going on. So our students are coming back, at least some of them, to finish up courses from the spring. So we've got classes running from early in the morning, and that's been, you know, a lot of logistics, trying to do that safely, making sure that we had time to clean our environments in between. And then, of course, we're also doing some COVID test sites. You know, HPD was supporting those things early on, but when some of the recent issues happened, and we'll talk about them soon too, you know, HPD had to pull off so they could focus on the event. So we kind of picked those things up. And I think we've got 2 or 3 of them here that are operating now. And then we got food drives going on as well. Food distributions going on as well. And of course, we're covering and helping the logistics with those. And tomorrow, we're doing voter registration over by the Central College on lot number 3, right across from the San Jacinto building over there. So we are working like wild men.
Well, let me clarify a few things, because people here are saying, well, we've got some classes on campus. These are classes that are for the students and the instructors. Say I'm a faculty or I'm a staff member and I'm thinking, oh, I want to get to my office and do some work. Maybe you can clarify what's going on in the campuses and who's allowed there right now, because there may be some confusion about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize if maybe I added to that with what I said. But so all of the faculty and staff, or all of the faculty, staff, and students that are on the campuses right now have been arranged in advance. These are a lot of the technical jobs that needed hands-on lab work in order to finish and get their certifications. So envision welding and nursing and firefighters, you know, EMS workers, those kind of things. So these are students from the spring that are really trying to clean up and finish what they couldn't do online. So it's exclusively those folks.
Right. So we want to clarify, if you, you know, there will be instructions as to when all of us will be going back, how that will look, and that's still forthcoming right now. People that are on our campuses have a specific job, and they are I should say, they're permitted to be there, because not everybody is right now.
Yeah, the campuses are still officially closed, if you will, but to finish these certification programs and whatnot, this is a major effort, and candidly, the college has been working on it for months to make sure that we're doing it right and safely. Summer semester is all online, but they've opened up registration for fall. And well, I'm not the expert to tell you the options, but they have optional ways for you to attend. and it's really worth looking at if you're wanting to continue your education and get going.
Yeah, Chief, I guess from your standpoint, you know, we've been looking at the options really all for the last week as to what's going to happen in the fall, the types of classes, and we'll cover that later in the show with Brittany. But one thing from your observation, it looks like one way or another, there are going to be a lot less people on our campuses when we go back in the fall than there were prior to spring break of 2020.
Yeah, at least through the fall, there probably will be, right? I think you'll see, you know, a lot of people are still very concerned with COVID, and rightfully so. And for that reason, I think online learning is going to really be the tall pole in the tent, right? Or that it's going to be the way most people choose to do this. Reducing the numbers of people on campus obviously makes the job a little bit easier from our perspective. But all of the other social services things and all of the community support projects that we're doing are really coming right back and making our campuses fairly busy places for these kind of events.
So, Chief, I wanted to move on to some other topics, some issues that were going on across the country and here in the Houston area. A number of protests had been happening across the country. What's your observation been over the last week as to what you've been seeing, and especially here in Houston? We've seen to a lot of people have seemed to have come together and standing united here in Houston peacefully, and that's a pretty big deal to show the rest of the nation.
It really is. So, you know, there's a couple of things that I'd like to say on the front end. First and foremost, the Floyd family asking for peaceful demonstrations and to allow them to mourn the loss of their son and get him buried with respect was one of the classiest things I've ever seen. And the fact that Houston and most communities, well, it may not have been adopted quite so well up north or back east. Houston especially embraced that request, and it's really made a huge difference here in town. I think it's given everybody a little bit of time to kind of start to sort out that anger. Being angry isn't bad. Being angry and not focusing that anger on productive methods to solve it is where the problem is. So this short break that we've taken has allowed everybody, I think, to put a little bit of it in perspective, to sort out the wheat from the chaff. You know, you heard Minneapolis was talking about closing up their police department. Well, right. I get in anger that may sound. The reality is, it's not the right solution, right? At 2 a.m, somebody's got to come when you dial 911, right? So what we need to do is we need to sort out how are police and community going to work together and mend this thing. And conversation is the first part, and tamping down the anger so the conversation can come out is really important step in that process.
Chief, I was going to ask you specifically about cities voting to defund the police department. What does that mean, number one? Number two, some of the solutions I'd heard were bringing in temporary officers and possibly state police. Where does that go, and what does that look like when you defund a police department? Is it firing everybody, rehiring? Do you know what exactly is meant by those words?
Well, the term has become common, but unfortunately, the authors of the terms come from several different places. So when you say that, I've heard some folks in the Black Lives Matter movement talking about it, and their vision of what that defunding is a little bit different than, say, something that you may be hearing from the city government. I think what's happening here is everybody is looking to get that separation. We've all watched a prize fight, right? Every now and again, the referee makes the two fighters go to neutral corners. And I think everybody is trying to get that break between the factions. So defunding, does it mean that we're going to fund up mental health? Does it mean we're going to fund up homeless support so that gets taken off of the police plate, which candidly has been put there over the last several years? And without funding, and quite honestly, without training as well, which is some of the cause of the conflicts that we're seeing. So everybody has a different read on what that is. I think what it's doing is it will start that discussion on, okay, so maybe some police budget goes away, but it doesn't go away to stop police. What it does is it goes to the mental health groups so that they can ramp up their support programs. Because quite honestly, today, police are being called to a lot of service calls that really don't even fit in the police job box, right? And we're doing it badly, right? A mental health professional is needed. A cop is not who you should call. Sure. But unfortunately, that's where we are today, and we need to start correcting some of those things.
Absolutely. And I think one way or another, Chief, we're looking at change happening, rightfully so in many ways, as this country moves forward from this moment. Chief, it's always good to have you here on a Wednesday, and I know you're very busy with your guys getting out, your folks getting out to all the campuses right now as things start to somewhat phase reopen in a limited fashion.
Well, and again, a lot of it is community support stuff. So do me a favor, no matter what community you live in, take a look. There may be a COVID test site near you, and I'd encourage you to visit those. Like I say, we're doing food distributions, voter registration, a lot of things out there. And it's all happening right around you and in your neighborhood. Please take advantage of those things.
Absolutely. Well put, Chief. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you for having me. You guys have a great afternoon.
You too. And now we're going to move on to Brittany Pacheco. Brittany, so once again, you're at your parents' house this morning because you had some issues at your home.
Yeah, that's correct, Todd. That's just part of life. Even though we're working remotely, repairs still need to be done, and water is essential, wherever you live.
Yeah, I got to say, it's a nice luxury to have here. But, the chief was talking about options for the fall, and obviously there's a lot of activity happening on our campuses as students go back to fulfill their spring requirements with labs. But right now we're looking at several options, 4 of them, as a matter of fact, for students in the fall. Option 1 is called Safe, or I should say Online Anytime.
That's correct. And it's just as it sounds. You take your classes online literally at any time. You never have to come to campus with these courses. And the second option for students is online on a schedule, which means that you take classes online, but at a specific time. Again, you never have to come to campus, but you do need to log into your class or classes at the specific time you selected.
Which one of those would you prefer when you were going to school, if you took those classes?
Truthfully, I've taken both, but I do like the flexibility of being able to just go online at any time, because many other students who are at HCC, I was working either part-time or full-time, and I had other obligations. So the flexibility of being able to, let's say, do my courses late at night when I didn't have anything to do was a really nice way of being able to get my work done.
Yeah, I mean, it's flexibility and it's convenient for the student, and that's really what we're trying to do here. But some people say, you know what? I like to have a schedule. I like to go into the buildings and have a class. Well, our classes are going to be a lot smaller in the fall, but we have something called Flex Campus, where you can actually sign up for in-person classes. Now, the key to that, Brittany, is signing up early for the fall because they're smaller classes, some of the program sizes may be limited.
Correct. So you can choose to come to campus, or you can participate online at a set time, which I agree with you, Todd. A lot of students like to have that schedule because it gets them in that mindset of, okay, I have to focus only on this thing right now for this allotted time. Yeah. And that's great. That's great. But for students who are considering going into the campus, just keep in mind that the number of students in the classroom will change as social distancing requirements are adjusted. So as you said before, the key to this option, which is Flex Campus, is to sign up early. And the last option.
Go ahead.
The last option is our lab-based courses, and these are critical hands-on skill-based learning that we continue to offer. But again, the section sizes will be smaller to allow for social distancing.
Right. And regardless of your option, you're still going to have the same support from HCC student services like our tutoring, student life, career and pathway advising, career employment, and counseling service. You not only get advising services, but counseling services are available to our students as well. And if you need financial aid or scholarships, everything is still available to you. Whether or not someone is in a building, we're still available online. So keep that in mind, and you'll still have access to all those services in the fall. But the key is signing up early, and registration's underway for the fall right now, and also the last summer session.
That is correct, Todd. So if you haven't already signed up for the last section of our summer or for fall classes, you can do so today by going to hccs.edu/now.
Now, the MBDA is having a virtual lunchtime forum, and I love the title of this. It's called Chaos in Opportunity, because where there's chaos, entrepreneurs find opportunity. Just look around. A lot of new companies are sprouting up now. But the subs and sandwiches folks at HCC's Minority Business Development Association have another way to get entrepreneurs together, and this, Brittany, is virtually online.
That's correct, Todd. So it's a WebEx forum that is today at 11:30 a.m. We'll put all that information in the post or also in the comments section for you to have access to that web forum, because it's just a long URL and a lot of information we need to share. But if you're interested in this Chaos and Opportunity webinar, be sure you head over to the MBDA webinar. That's again today, June 10th at 11:30 a.m.
Also, Chief was mentioning about HCC being very active with the community right now. We are hosting a number of events. There are food drives going on at a number of our campuses, and we have COVID testing sites at least the Northeast College is offering it through Saturday, June 13th, Mondays through Saturdays, of course, free. It's a free, you can get tested for free, but the key there, Brittany, is you have to register ahead of time.
Exactly. So you can head over to the website, which is txcovidtest.org, or you can call 512-883-2400 to schedule your appointment. Now, if you try to show up to the location without the appointment, don't be surprised if maybe you're turned away. So the key to this is make sure you head over online or call that phone number that I just mentioned to schedule your appointment for your free COVID testing. That's all the way from now until Saturday, June 13th. This is happening again at the HCC Northeast campus, which is on 555 Community College Drive, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You know, COVID-19 has really taken a hit, the economy's taken a hit because of COVID-19, and a lot of people have lost their jobs across the state of Texas, about 1.5 million. Well, HCC is trying to retrain and retool many Houstonians who've lost their job because of COVID, or if you've been furloughed, maybe you're just looking for a new career. There are about 200,000 new jobs in the city of Houston that were established since March, and we've got a program called jobsnowhouston.org. That's the website. Check it out. If you need employment or know someone who does, send them to that website. There are 5 different areas you can train in at HCC. And Brittany, these are short-term certifications for essential jobs moving into the future.
Exactly. These are essential jobs that are needed now during this COVID pandemic, and then also after this pandemic when it's over, hopefully soon. Let's cross our fingers for that, everyone. But the areas that we're talking about are in healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, IT, and construction. And there's several other areas too that if you head over to that website, you can see what's available in terms of training, short-term, fast-track training that HCC is offering. So again, head over to jobsnowhouston.org for more information.
Virtual information sessions, if we talked about enrolling for the summer or the fall, you can still do that. But you can also, you need to attend a virtual information session. That's happening through Enrollment Services. They're offering these weekly, and you can register at hccs.edu/information sessions.
That's correct.
And I think,
no,
go ahead.
There's actually one underway as we speak. That happened today at 10 a.m., just as Up to the Minute went live. But if you have questions about admissions application, testing, new student orientation I've been getting a couple of DMs about new student orientation, financial aid, and choosing your program and major. This is a great resource to utilize, and this is open to everyone who's interested, of course, in coming to HCC. If you head over to hccs.edu/information sessions, you can select which date you wish to participate in, but you have to register. It is required. So be sure to head over once again to hccs.edu/information sessions. The next session is going to be June 17th, excuse me, if I can spit that out, at noon. So once again, next virtual information session is June 17th at noon.
We don't want to leave out our faculty and staff. We have Janet May, who's our Chief Talent Engagement Officer. She hosts a virtual coffee break, and she does a couple of those a week. The next one is happening on Thursday, tomorrow at 11 a.m. That's June the 11th. And you see who they got tomorrow as a very special guest.
I really want to tune into this one because Bollywood Zumba is going to be it's going to be a Bollywood Zumba session with Pika. Unless I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize in advance. But grab a cup of coffee and join Janet May and her special guests for this session. I'm going to head over there on Thursday at 11 a.m., Todd, so I won't be in our usual meeting.
Well, I was just going to say we've got a meeting usually going on at that time, but okay, we'll see. We'll see. But I think they record these. They record these, so you can watch the recorded version and do that, and you can still catch your meeting. So there's good news for you.
I'm going to go to the Zumba session time.
If you're faculty or staff, check your emails, Brittany, and that's where you can get the link.
Exactly. This sounds a lot of fun. Break the monotony of just sitting at your computer all day and being idle. Let's get up and moving. So this should be a lot of fun.
So tomorrow, Brittany, the zoo. We've got a person from the zoo joining us tomorrow. How about that?
I'm excited. I love the zoo. I haven't been there in forever, but it's really hot in the summer, of course, to go to the zoo. So why not enjoy it virtually? They're opening their doors, but things are obviously going to be a little different. So join us tomorrow for our Family Fun Day series with a special surprise guest star. I wonder what that could be.
I know who it is. You know who it is, but
I know, but I'm trying to get the audience excited about tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a
big show tomorrow.
A big show tomorrow with a new person, new something from the zoo. All right. We've also got Dr. Laura Williamson of the Collaboratorium at the West Houston Institute. The Collaboratorium was built for really people to come together, collaborate with ideas, share those ideas, go through training sessions. How do they do that now online? Well, she's going to answer those questions and tell us how they plan to survive this crisis and move forward virtually at the West Houston Institute. So make sure you join us tomorrow. We'd love to see you here with us again.
Absolutely. And don't forget to like us on all of our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget about YouTube. And we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.